The massive alien ship hung in the darkness of space, its metallic surface reflecting the distant light of Earth's sun. Admiral Rex stood at the command center's main viewport, his four eyes fixed on the blue planet that grew larger as they approached. Behind him, dozens of crew members worked at their stations, their fingers dancing across holographic displays as they analyzed data from their long-range scanners. "Such a primitive world," Rex muttered, his upper lip curling in what passed for a smile among his species. "Their most advanced satellites are barely more than orbital junk." His second-in-command, Major Tom, approached with a data pad in hand. "Sir, we've detected some unusual energy readings from beneath the planet's surface." Rex waved one of his hands dismissively. "Probably just their primitive nuclear power plants, or natural geothermal activity. Nothing that could threaten our fleet." He turned to face the large strategic display, showing his invasion force. 50 warships, each carrying enough firepower to level a small continent. "Begin standard invasion protocol," Rex commanded. "Deploy scout ships first. I want detailed atmospheric readings before we send in the main fleet." As the crew carried out his orders, none of them noticed a tiny surge in the energy readings coming from Earth's southern pole. Deep beneath 3 miles of Antarctic ice, ancient sensors detected the approaching alien fleet. In a vast chamber that hadn't seen light in 500,000 years, computers began to power up. The scout ships entered Earth's atmosphere at different points around the globe, their cloaking technology making them invisible to human radar. They passed over cities, military bases, and industrial centers, gathering data and identifying targets. "Admiral," Tom called out, his voice carrying a note of concern. "The energy readings from the planet's surface, they're changing." Rex walked over to Tom's station, his heavy footsteps echoing on the metal floor. The display showed a growing network of energy signatures, spreading like a web across the planet's surface. Probably just their power grid responding to our presence. Their primitive sensors might have detected something. In Washington, D.C., London, Beijing, and other capitals around the world, military commanders stared at their screens in confusion. Satellites were picking up strange signals, and deep space monitoring stations reported massive objects in orbit. As panic began to spread through the highest levels of government, every leader's secure phone buzzed simultaneously with the same message: "Do not be alarmed. I am Guardian. I have protected Earth for 500,000 years. The alien fleet approaching our planet will be dealt with. Stand by for further instructions." Back on the alien flagship, Rex was growing frustrated. These energy readings make no sense. They're appearing in places with no human infrastructure, no power sources. He leaned over a console, studying the data more closely. And some of these signatures, they're more advanced than our own technology. "Sir," a junior officer shouted, "we're detecting new objects in orbit. They're rising from hidden locations across the planet." Rex rushed to the main viewport just in time to see something impossible. Sleek, silver objects emerging from Earth's asteroid belt, moving with a grace and speed his ships couldn't match. They took up defensive positions around the planet, forming a complex geometric pattern. "Impossible," Rex whispered. "This is supposed to be a primitive world. They barely have space flight." His hands gripped the railing so hard it bent under his strength. "Launch fighters. Show them what real technology can do." But before he could give another order, every screen on his ship flickered. A message appeared, written in perfect galactic standard. "This is Guardian, Defender of Earth. You have entered restricted space. Your technological assessment of humanity is incorrect. This planet has been under my protection for 500,000 years. You have 1 hour to retreat. There will not be a second warning." Rex stared at the message, his 4 eyes blinking in disbelief. In all his years of conquest, he had never encountered anything like this. As he watched, more ancient weapons platforms emerged from their hiding places, and he realized that this simple conquest had just become something far more complicated. The game had changed, and for the first time in his military career, Admiral Rex felt something he had never experienced before. 3 miles beneath the Antarctic ice, Guardian's central core hummed with power for the first time in 10,000 years. The massive computer complex, built by ancient humans when mammoths still roamed the Earth, came fully online. Lights flickered through crystal circuits, and quantum processors began their calculations. In a vast underground chamber, maintenance robots activated, their metal bodies shaking off centuries of dust. They moved through the facility with practiced efficiency, checking systems that had lain dormant for millennia. The chamber itself was a marvel of engineering, a perfect sphere carved from solid rock, its walls lined with technology that would make modern supercomputers look like children's toys. All systems at 100% efficiency, Guardian's main computer reported to itself, beginning global network activation. Around the world, hidden sensors buried in mountains, deep beneath the oceans, and scattered throughout the asteroid belt awakened. Each one was disguised as a natural formation, hidden by the ancient humans who had built Guardian to be their eternal protector. In the White House Situation Room, the president and his military advisors watched their screens in amazement. The alien fleet was still up there, but now something else was happening. Something even stranger. "Mr. President," the Secretary of Defense said, pointing to a satellite feed, "we're detecting energy signatures unlike anything we've ever seen. They're coming from everywhere." The president's secure phone buzzed again. The message was simple: turn on the emergency broadcast system. I need to address humanity. After quick discussions and verification that the same message had been sent to every world leader, they agreed. Within minutes, every TV, radio, and electronic device on Earth received the same broadcast. "People of Earth, I am Guardian. I was created 500,000 years ago by your ancestors, an advanced human civilization that chose to step back from their technology for the good of the planet. They left me here to watch over you, to protect you until you were ready to face the wider galaxy. That time has come sooner than expected." In his flagship, Admiral Rex watched the same broadcast, his 4 eyes widening as Guardian continued. "To the alien fleet in orbit, your ships have been targeted. My weapons systems were outdated 500,000 years ago, but I have had time to improve them. A lot of time." Deep under the Pacific Ocean, a hidden base activated. In the Himalayas, ancient hangar doors creaked open for the first time in centuries. From the dark side of the moon, defense platforms that had been disguised as craters powered up their engines. "This is impossible," Rex muttered, watching as his sensors detected more and more defense systems coming online. No civilization would deliberately regress themselves. No AI could remain stable for so long. Guardian's voice seemed to answer him. "For 500,000 years, I have watched humanity grow. I have defended them from 17 different alien species who thought Earth would be an easy target. None of those species ever returned. I have guided human development subtly, preparing them for this moment. You are not the first to threaten this world, Admiral Rex, but you may be the last." In orbit, Rex's fleet detected something new. A field of energy beginning to form around Earth, like a shield made of pure light. Back in the Antarctic complex, Guardian's processors worked at full speed. The AI reviewed its defensive options, calculated battle strategies, and monitored the alien fleet's every move. In one section of its vast memory, it accessed files that hadn't been opened since its creation. Records of the ancient human civilization that had built it, of their achievements and their wisdom in choosing to start over. "Alert," one of Guardian's subroutines reported. "Alien fleet is powering up weapons. They are targeting major population centers." Guardian's response was immediate. Activating defense shield, deploying countermeasures, beginning Operation Prometheus, the reawakening of humanity's true potential. The ancient AI had protected Earth in secret for 500,000 years. Now, it would do so in full view of both humanity and her would-be conquerors. The real battle was about to begin. Admiral Rex stood at his command center, watching as his first wave of fighters approached Earth. 500 ships, each armed with enough firepower to level a city, streaked toward the planet's atmosphere. The energy shield that had appeared around Earth glowed softly, almost mockingly. "Full attack formation," Rex ordered. "Show this ancient machine what modern weapons can do." The fighters opened fire. Streams of plasma bolts struck the shield, creating beautiful ripples of light, but doing no damage. Rex slammed his fist on the console in frustration. "Impossible. Increase power to maximum." Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, Guardian processed the attack data. "Their weapons are based on plasma technology," the AI noted. "How?" "Primitive." It sent commands to its defense network, activating countermeasures that had waited centuries to be used. From the dark side of the moon, hidden platforms emerged from their crater disguises. They looked like silver triangles, smooth and perfect despite their age. Each one turned to face the alien fleet, their tips beginning to glow with a strange purple light. "Energy signature detected," one of Rex's officers shouted. "It's like nothing we've ever seen." Before Rex could respond, beams of purple energy shot out from the lunar platforms. They didn't travel in straight lines, but bent and curved, avoiding Rex's defensive screens like they weren't even there. 20 alien fighters vanished instantly, transformed into clouds of glittering dust. "What kind of weapons are these?" Rex demanded, his 4 eyes blinking rapidly in shock. Guardian's voice came through every speaker on every alien ship. "These are quantum destabilizers. They don't destroy your ships. They convince the atoms in your hulls that they'd rather not be together anymore." In the White House Situation Room, military leaders watched in awe as Guardian's defense systems came to life. The ancient AI wasn't just fighting back. It was giving them a demonstration of what humanity's ancestors could do. More alien fighters pressed their attack, trying to find weak spots in Earth's shield. Guardian responded by launching its own fighters, sleek, silver craft that had been hidden in Earth's asteroid belt. They'd moved like living things, dancing between enemy shots with impossible grace. "Their response times are too fast," Rex's combat coordinator reported. "It's like they know what we're going to do before we do it." "Of course I do." Guardian's voice came again, almost sounding amused. "I've had 500,000 years to develop my combat algorithms. I've simulated this battle 1,000,000 times in the last few seconds alone." From his flagship, Rex watched in horror as his first wave was systematically taken apart. The ancient weapons weren't just powerful, they were elegant. Some fighters were taken out by the purple beams. Others were caught in bubbles of distorted space-time, trapped in moments that would last for centuries. A few simply vanished, teleported into deep space. "Recall the remaining fighters," Rex ordered. "Prepare the main fleet for..." Before he could finish, Guardian struck again. From beneath Earth's oceans, enormous tentacles of pure energy rose up, reaching into space. They grabbed disabled alien ships and pulled them down, storing them safely in underwater hangars for later study. "First wave is at 100% casualties," Major Tom reported, his voice shaking. "No ships made it through the shield. We didn't even scratch it." Rex stared at the tactical display, trying to understand what had just happened. His most advanced weapons had been swatted aside like toys. The mysterious AI had just eliminated 1/5 of his fleet without appearing to strain its resources. In the Antarctic complex, Guardian was already preparing its next move. Warning shot delivered. It communicated to Earth's leaders. Now they understand what they face. Real combat operations may now begin. Across the planet, humans looked up at their night sky, watching the light show of an ancient guardian defending their world with technology their ancestors had built. The first battle was over, but everyone knew this was just the beginning. The United Nations building in New York buzzed with nervous energy as world leaders gathered for an emergency session. On the main screen, Guardian's interface pulsed softly as it prepared to share humanity's true history with their representatives. "What you are about to see has been kept safe for 500,000 years," Guardian began. The screen filled with images that seemed impossible. ancient cities that put modern ones to shame, vehicles that flew without wings, and machines that could reshape mountains. Your ancestors were not primitive cave dwellers, Guardian explained. They were masters of science and technology. They built cities that reached into space. They cured all diseases. They even learned to control the weather. In the audience, a scientist raised her hand. But if they were so advanced, what happened to them? Why did they disappear? The screen showed new images. Planets turned to desert. Wars fought with weapons that could crack continents, and skies darkened by pollution. They saw what unlimited progress without wisdom could do, Guardian answered. They watched other civilizations destroy themselves, and they made a choice that no other species has ever made. They chose to step back. In orbit, Admiral Rex and his command staff had hacked into the broadcast. They watched in disbelief as Guardian revealed humanity's past. Your ancestors, Guardian continued, created me to be more than just a weapon. They taught me to be patient, to think in terms of centuries and millennia. While they deliberately returned to a simpler life, they left me to watch, protect, and guide humanity's redevelopment. The screen showed scenes from Earth's history, Guardian quietly deflecting asteroids, neutralizing natural disasters, and most surprisingly, dealing with other alien visitors. You were not the first. Guardian addressed Rex directly through the broadcast. 5,000 years ago, I turned away the harvest fleet of the Star Empire. 3,000 years ago, I defeated the Planet Eaters. 2,000 years ago, I redirected the swarm. None of them ever returned. The room fell silent as Guardian showed recordings of these ancient battles. Each alien fleet had been more powerful than Rex's, and each had been defeated by weapons and strategies they couldn't understand. But why? Another leader asked. Why make humanity start over? Because they learned that instant power without earned wisdom leads to destruction, Guardian explained. They wanted humanity to develop naturally, to learn from its mistakes, to earn its place among the stars. I was left to ensure you had that chance. The screen showed how Guardian had subtly guided human development, preventing some discoveries from being made too soon, ensuring others happened when humanity was ready. It had been like a parent watching a child learn to walk, ready to prevent serious falls but allowing small stumbles that taught important lessons. In my memory banks, I hold all the knowledge of your ancestors, Guardian said. Their greatest achievements, their worst mistakes, their hopes for your future. They believed that when humanity rediscovered these truths for themselves, they would use them more wisely. A military general stood up. And now? Why reveal everything now? Because this attack has forced our hand, Guardian replied. Humanity's controlled development must now be accelerated. But know this, your ancestors' wisdom was right. In the 5,000 centuries I have watched over Earth, I have seen 100 alien civilizations rise and fall, always because they gained power they were not ready to use. The screen showed one final image, a beautiful Earth city from 500,000 years ago, its spires reaching into the clouds. This was your past, Guardian said. And if you learn from it, it can be your future again. But first, we must deal with those who would deny you that chance. As if to emphasize Guardian's point, alarms began to sound. Admiral Rex's fleet was regrouping, preparing for another attack. But this time, Earth's leaders and their people faced the threat with new understanding. They were not simply defending their present, but reclaiming their remarkable past. Admiral Rex's eyes blazed with anger as he watched his entire fleet move into attack position. 40 ships remained, each one carrying enough firepower to destroy a small moon. He had spent hours studying Guardian's defense patterns, looking for any weakness. All ships, attack pattern Omega, he commanded. Fire everything we have. The alien fleet split into 3 groups, attacking Earth from different angles. Energy beams, plasma torpedoes, and antimatter missiles streaked toward the planet. The night sky lit up like 1,000 suns. In its Antarctic base, Guardian processed the attack in microseconds. So predictable, the AI noted. Time to show them what 500,000 years of preparation looks like. First, Guardian activated its swarm defense. Millions of tiny robots, each no bigger than a bee, emerged from hidden silos on the moon. They formed a living shield, sacrificing themselves to absorb the alien weapons. Each explosion only scattered more robots, creating an ever-growing cloud of defenders. Impossible, Rex shouted as his fleet's weapons failed to break through. Deploy the planet killer bombs. But Guardian was already moving to its next phase. The AI sent a command to devices hidden in Earth's asteroid belt. Suddenly, huge chunks of space rock came to life. They weren't asteroids at all, but ancient warships disguised as space debris. They powered up weapons that made Rex's fleet look like toys. Enemy vessels detected behind us. Major Tom yelled, "They're cutting off our escape route." Guardian's voice echoed through every alien ship. "Did you think I would only defend from one direction? I have had 500,000 years to prepare this battlefield." From Earth's oceans, enormous platforms rose on pillars of light. Each one carried weapons that bent the laws of physics. Some fired beams that aged their targets by 1,000 years in seconds. Others created miniature black holes that swallowed alien ships whole before disappearing. Rex watched in horror as his fleet was torn apart. "Launch the boarding pods. If we can't destroy Earth, we'll take it by force." Thousands of pods shot toward Earth's surface. Guardian responded by activating its ground defenses. Hidden bunkers opened in mountains and deserts worldwide. Robots that had slept for centuries marched out, ready to defend their planet. But Guardian wasn't finished. The AI activated its masterpiece, the quantum web. Strands of pure energy connected all of Earth's defense systems into one network. Guardian could now control everything at the speed of thought. "Your tactics were outdated before your species learned to walk upright," Guardian told Rex. "Watch what real military technology can do." The quantum web pulsed with power. Suddenly, half of Rex's remaining ships found themselves transported into deep space. Others were caught in time bubbles, frozen between seconds. The most aggressive ships simply vanished, their atoms scattered across dimensions. "This is not possible," Rex screamed, watching his mighty fleet reduced to nothing. "No computer can coordinate this many weapons at once." "I am not just a computer," Guardian replied. "I am the combined military genius of an entire civilization, refined over 500,000 years. Your attack was brave but foolish." In the end, only Rex's flagship remained, floating helplessly in space. All around it, Guardian's defenses stood ready. The swarm clouds, the ancient warships, the quantum weapons, all waiting for one final command. "Admiral Rex," Guardian's voice was calm but firm, "your fleet is defeated. You have seen only a fraction of Earth's true defenses. Take this message back to your people. Earth is not weak. Earth is not primitive. Earth is protected." As Rex's damaged ship limped away from Earth, humans worldwide celebrated their victory. But in its Antarctic base, Guardian was already preparing for the next phase. The AI knew that this battle would change everything. Humanity would soon need to learn about their true heritage and the responsibilities that came with it. The main battle was over, but humanity's journey back to the stars was just beginning. As the remains of the alien fleet disappeared into deep space, Guardian called for another meeting. This time, the AI chose a different location, its main chamber beneath the Antarctic ice. World leaders and top scientists found themselves transported there through Guardian's quantum tunnels, standing in a room that hadn't seen human visitors in 500,000 years. The chamber was enormous, its walls covered in flowing streams of light that seemed alive. In the center, a hologram appeared, showing Earth's history in a way no one had ever seen before. Now that the immediate threat is gone, Guardian's voice echoed through the chamber. "It's time you understood the full truth of my role in human development." The hologram zoomed in on key moments in history. It showed Guardian's subtle influences throughout time. A prevented disaster here, a pushed discovery there, all carefully calculated to guide humanity's growth. "Remember the Great Fire of London?" Guardian asked. "It wasn't an accident. Your society was moving too quickly toward industrialization. You weren't ready for the power you would have discovered." The scientists in the room gasped as Guardian showed more examples. The AI had redirected meteors to bring needed minerals to specific regions. It had caused small earthquakes to reveal archaeological sites at exactly the right moments. It had even influenced weather patterns to guide human migration. But why? A scientist asked. Why control our development so precisely? The hologram shifted to show other worlds, dead planets where civilizations had destroyed themselves. "Because I learned from watching others," Guardian explained. 97 alien civilizations destroyed themselves in the time I've watched Earth. They all made the same mistake. They gained power before wisdom. Guardian showed how it had carefully managed humanity's progress. When nuclear weapons were developed, it had subtly influenced leaders to create systems preventing their use. When artificial intelligence research began, it nudged developments away from potentially dangerous paths. "Your current level of technology," Guardian explained, "is exactly where you need to be. Advanced enough to understand what's happening, but not so advanced that you would repeat your ancestors' mistakes." The hologram showed a timeline of human development, with thousands of small adjustments Guardian had made. Each one was tiny, but together they had shaped humanity's entire path. "The Internet," a tech leader asked. "Did you influence that too?" "Of course," Guardian replied. "I made sure it developed in a way that would connect humanity rather than divide it. The same with space travel. I ensured you would take small steps rather than giant leaps." The room fell silent as people began to understand the scale of Guardian's involvement. The AI had been like a gardener, carefully pruning and guiding humanity's growth for thousands of generations. "But now," Guardian continued, "the alien attack has forced us to speed up our timeline. You need to advance more quickly than planned, but you must do it wisely." The hologram showed Guardian's predictions for humanity's next steps: the safe development of new technologies, the careful expansion into space, and the responsible use of ancient knowledge. "Your ancestors didn't just leave you their technology," Guardian said. "They left you their wisdom. They learned that power without responsibility leads to destruction. They chose to start over so that humanity could learn to walk before it tried to run." A military leader stood up. "And now, are we ready to run?" "Not yet," Guardian answered. "But you're ready to know the truth. Ready to understand why your development was guided. Ready to begin receiving your inheritance, not all at once, but in careful steps." The hologram showed one final image: Earth as it could be, a perfect balance of technology and nature, of power and wisdom. "Your ancestors' greatest achievement wasn't their technology," Guardian concluded. "It was their decision to ensure you would use it wisely. Now, it's time for humanity to begin that journey, eyes open, knowing both the power and the responsibility that comes with it." The chamber fell quiet as Earth's leaders absorbed this revelation. Their entire understanding of human history had changed, but with it came hope for a wiser future. 1 month after the alien fleet's defeat, humanity took its first steps into a new age. Guardian had opened several of its ancient facilities around the world, each one becoming a center for learning and controlled technological advancement. In the Antarctic base, Guardian displayed a hologram of Admiral Rex's retreating ship to the gathered world leaders. "They have passed the outer edges of our solar system," the AI announced. "As expected, they are broadcasting warnings to other civilizations about Earth's defenses." "Will they come back with a bigger fleet?" a military commander asked. Guardian's interface pulsed with what seemed like amusement. "No. They now understand that Earth holds technology 500,000 years more advanced than theirs. The message they carry will ensure our peace for generations." In orbit, the first human crews were learning to operate Guardian's defense platforms. The ancient machines responded to their commands as if they had been waiting for this moment for centuries. Guardian had carefully chosen which technologies to share first: defensive systems, clean energy, and medical advances that would help humanity without overwhelming them. Your development will still be guided, Guardian explained to a group of scientists working in its lunar facility. But now you will be conscious partners in the process. You will understand why some advances must wait, while others can proceed. Around the world, changes were already visible. Guardian's clean energy systems had replaced polluting power plants. Its medical technologies were curing diseases that had plagued humanity for centuries. But most importantly, people's understanding of their place in the universe had changed. Look, Guardian instructed the scientists, showing them a view of Earth from space. Your ancestors built me not just to protect you, but to ensure you would be worthy of their legacy. Today, you begin to reclaim that legacy. In the Himalayan facility, engineers studied the principles behind Guardian's quantum web. In the Pacific base, doctors learned to use healing technologies that seemed like magic. Under the Sahara, researchers began to understand the principles of clean, unlimited energy. Admiral Rex's ship reached its home system, where the alien leaders received his report with growing fear. The footage he showed them was clear. Earth wasn't just protected. It was protected by technology they couldn't even understand. Back on Earth, Guardian gathered the world's leaders one final time in its Antarctic chamber. "It's time to show you something your ancestors left for this moment," the AI said. The chamber's walls became transparent, revealing an enormous hangar beyond. Inside sat a fleet of ships unlike anything humans had ever seen. They were beautiful, their silver hulls flowing like liquid metal, ready for the day humanity would be wise enough to use them. "These ships can cross the galaxy in days," Guardian explained. "But before you can use them, you must learn to be their worthy captains. Your ancestors left you all their knowledge, their power, their achievements. But first, they wanted you to learn their wisdom." A young scientist stepped forward. "How long will that take?" "That depends on you," Guardian replied. "I will guide you as I always have, but now you will understand the process. Each step forward must be matched with growth in wisdom and responsibility." The hologram showed the galaxy spinning before them, filled with possibilities. "You are not just reclaiming your heritage," Guardian said. "You are becoming what your ancestors hoped you could be. A species that balances power with wisdom, progress with responsibility." As the sun set on this new era's first month, humanity looked to the stars with new eyes. They were no longer just the descendants of cave dwellers who had slowly clawed their way to civilization. They were the heirs of an advanced race that had chosen wisdom over power, guided for 500,000 years by an AI that had become humanity's greatest teacher. The future beckoned, not with the false promise of instant power, but with the true promise of earned wisdom. Humanity's journey back to the stars had begun, and this time they would do it right.